Hey guys, welcome to Joy of the Trade. I have a really important message today. I have a really important topic I want to cover because something is really exploding and coming onto my radar. And I feel that it's my duty to tell you guys what I'm seeing in the markets and the big red flags that I'm seeing. There are three massive reasons that I think that volatility is on the cusp of exploding this fall. And that if you're not ready for the volatility we're about to have, you could get your ass absolutely handed to you. So I'm going to lay out these three main points on why I think volatility is about to explode. And then I'm going to show you a solution to it rather than just sitting in the wind and getting whipped. So first, this weekend, last few weeks, we've had huge wrangling with foreign policy. So it's geopolitics is my first reason we're going to have a big uptick in volatility. We saw Afghanistan fall almost immediately after the United States exited Afghanistan. It fell to the Taliban. These are not nice guys. They're not good guys. They trained al-Qaeda. They're global sponsors of terrorism. They kill innocent women and children. They are not pro-West. It's not just the US. They're against all Western ideologies, and they're going to be a bad neighbor on the block. But for the markets, people are saying, well, what does Afghanistan matter? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Number one, it's a massive mining center. And so China is looking at creating an alliance with Afghanistan. Number two, the United States is looking incredibly weak in their foreign policy, having abandoned the regime in Afghanistan and letting them fall to the Taliban, our allies, people that we've helped for 20 years, that have helped us for 20 years. We're leaving them in the wind to get slaughtered. So we're looking incredibly weak, incredibly ripe to make big, bold international moves against US interests, with the idea being that the sleeping giant's back asleep. And so I'm looking at that as an open door for China to take over Taiwan, which would be a massive volatility creator in technology in the stock market. Second reason that I think volatility is on the cusp of exploding is the Fed. The Fed has been having a chorus growing against Jay Powell about inflation. Inflation is everywhere. We all know it. They're talking about wood came down. Oh, blah, blah, your turkey, your Thanksgiving dinner, 16 cents cheaper. You know, we're not idiots. We know what things cost. We go to stores, we feed our families, we fill our gas tanks, we pay rent, we try to buy new houses, we try to move into new apartments, and we know everything is crazily more expensive than before COVID. So the chorus is growing. There's pressure on the Fed, and I believe they're going to be forced to taper at the worst possible time as the volatility starting to explode. Third reason is a seasonality. Let me show you something. I want to share my screen with you right now. So this right here, what I'm about to show you, is the S&P 500 from 2018. And I'm seeing huge parallels between that year and this year. And we had a 20% correction that came from the end of September, really started in September till the end of the year. October, we really had this boom crash, 19% off the highs. Now, if you look at the beginning of the year, much like this year, was a nice uptrend, a nice low volatility, happy uptrend. And then boom, a 20% correction. I think there's a very high possibility that this is about to happen again. And if we look at the VIX here, we can see that this uptick in the VIX is starting right now. It's starting. And we just made a new low. The VIX likes to pop after making new lows. Look what it did in May. Look what it did in January. And so if we go back 5 years, check this out. If you go back 5 years, you can see the same thing repeats itself. In October, boom, we went from 12 to, what was that? 25. And that was just like a doubling. And now we're at a little bit of a higher base, but I see a situation where we can get back above 30, maybe 40. There's going to be a huge opportunity for people that have strategies that know how to trade volatility. Sitting in the market and doing nothing is not an option. I have a really excellent overnight trading strategy called the burn notice that takes advantage of that. I'm doing a live presentation where I go through the strategy, I go through the techniques that I use in it. And in that, when we have those periods of time, when everybody else is getting smoked, I see double-digit and triple-digit returns on a week-to-week basis. So I invite you all to watch my presentation tomorrow. And at the minimum, I want you guys to be prepared what's coming this fall. LFG guys, I'll be back soon.